Hello, Shock16 back with yet another video. Sorry if I'm looking a bit worse for wear today. I was out on the piss last night, celebrating a birthday, and yeah, it got rather messy, so my eyes probably look a bit like piss holes in the snow right now, but yeah, anyway, this is a tag response to RedH0plite's 5 questions about yourself tag. I've not been tagged in it myself, but everybody that's done a tag response said that this is an open tag, so if you want to contribute to it then you're more than welcome to do so. So I have done. I hope RedH0plite you don't mind, mate, for me jumping in and getting on this one, but I thought I'd go for it. So without any further ado, let's get on with the questions. I started gaming when I was about 6 years old, so I'm going to say about 22 years that I've been gaming now. Started off on an Atari 2600 which my dad brought. He used to let us play on it as kids. Used to love all that, Centipede and Space Invaders and everything like that. I used to love that as a kid. Used to spend hours on the Atari 2600. So yeah, my spark for gaming was ignited by my dad about 22 years ago with the Atari 2600. Next question. I'm going to say I started collecting games about 15 years ago. In fact, probably even longer than that, because it was when the PlayStation 1 was first launched. I'd say that was possibly the first console that I actually used to collect all my games for. I used to have a massive collection for PlayStation 1. I mean, I sold them all as I grew up and everything, but I'd say that was the system that I started on. But retro game collecting, I would say only about 3 years. Basically, about 3 years ago, I was having a discussion whether I was more of a Nintendo kid or Sega kid growing up, and I grew up with the SNES and everything like that, so I was more of a Nintendo kid, and I gave my original SNES away to a friend back in the 90s. I've never spoke to him or seen him since, so I can't ask if he's actually still got my original system, but yeah, from that discussion of being a Nintendo kid or a Sega kid growing up, I kind of wanted a Super Nintendo back again, so a few years ago went on eBay, got myself a nice boxed Super Nintendo, and that's where it kicked off my retro collecting again. And then from then onwards I've just expanded to other consoles, retro goodness consoles such as the Nintendo 64, Sega Saturn and the Game Boy. So yeah, about 3 years I've been retro collecting now. Next question. So only one. I'd like to say something classic, some old school, bit of retro consoles, but to be honest with you, I'm going to go with current gen. I'd say the 360. Basically, I think where we are with gaming nowadays, basically what you can do in games and the kind of games you can get these days, I just think it's a great time to be gaming. So, and plus, retro consoles, they're very limited, aren't they? So, I mean, like, online play, I mean, come on. You can't do that on an old system, can you? And yeah, and good thing about this online, like live and stuff now, you can actually go into the arcade, and if you want a bit of retro goodness, just download yourself an old retro game or something like that. I mean, I've got Streets of Rage a lot on mine, so yeah, I'm going to go current gen and say, if I could only have one console, it'd be the Xbox 360. Next question. So first off, I'm going to give a couple of games an honourable mention on this one, and the first one is Sonic. As I mentioned before, I was a bit of a Nintendo kid growing up. I've always seen myself more Nintendo than I have Sega, so Sonic weren't always my first choice or my favourite choice, but I always seem to go back and play on a Sonic game. I mean, I was playing it not long ago on the PS3 on one of those Sega collection discs, so yeah, I think Sonic deserves a mention. And the second mention is this one, Need for Speed Underground 2. I love arcade racer games and stuff like that, and I think this one was probably the first to get it right. I just like the way you could modify your own cars and make them unique to yourself, and the way you could take a break from the racing, you could just drive around the city and stuff like that. Yeah, if I ever put the PlayStation 2 on, this is always the game that I seem to grab and play on, Need for Speed Underground 2. So yeah, I played through this game about 5 times now, and yeah, I just go through it. Once I put it in, I can't stop playing it, so I always play it all the way through again, and then it gets put back on the shelf until I pick it up again, but still not the one that I'm going to go for on this one. because the game that I am going to go for on this is Mario, because I always seem to come back to playing on a Mario game. Doesn't matter if it's old gen like on the SNES or Nintendo Game Boy or something like that, or even if it's current gen on the Wii or the DS or something like that. I always seem to find myself coming back to playing Mario. I just love Mario. I prefer the 2D side-scroller Marios though to the 3D versions of Mario that's been out, but yeah, Mario always seems to be the game I come back to, and if I have to single it down to one Mario game in particular, then I'm going to go for this one, and that's Mario All-Stars on the Super Nintendo, because basically that's got all all the best Mario games all on one cart. So yeah, I'm going to say Super Mario All-Stars on the SNES. That's the one game that I always seem to go back and play on. Next question. Okay, on this one I think a lot of people will go for classic shoot 'em ups or an arcade game or something like that. Basically something that you can just rack up a load of points on and get like a scoreboard going. But I'm going to go for something a bit different on this. I'm going to go for a driving game. This one in particular, Forza 3. There's like a few challenges you could set on this. I mean, you could do a timed lap, basically pick a circuit, everybody has to go around, like do a certain number of laps and see who gets the fastest lap time or something like that. Or you could do a drag race, see you can get the fastest quarter of a mile drag time or something like that. But the one that I'd really like to see is a drift event. Basically pick a circuit, everybody has to stick to that same circuit, certain number of laps, say 3 laps or something like that, and then basically you just post up and like how many drift points you've managed to accumulate over the 3 laps or something like that. So yeah, I think that would be quite a good challenge, a drift challenge, a Forza 3 drift challenge. And the other good thing about this is, with it being a current gen title, I think it would open it up to a wider audience, because not everybody's got a retro console and not everybody can get hold of a certain retro game or something like that. And with this being current gen, I mean, you can go anywhere and just pick this up pre-owned or something like that. So yeah, I think it might open it up to a wider audience as well. So a Forza 3 drift challenge, or if you don't want to do drift, maybe a drag challenge or a timed lap challenge, something like that. So Forza 3, that's the game I'll pick to do a high score challenge on. So there you go guys, that was my 5 answers to RedH0plite's 5 questions about yourself tag. Apparently this is an open tag, so if you want to do your own answers, then go ahead and do so. Support the cause and all that, you know what I mean? Expand the tag through the gaming community and all that, and yeah, I'll drop a link to the autofocus blur. Come on, focus, thank you. So yeah, I will drop a link to RedH0plite's channel so you can check out the original video as well as everything else on his channel. Yeah, I'll drop that link in the description bar below, and until next time I will say thank you for viewing this video. Hope you enjoyed it, and bye bye for now.